Hey guys, this is Michael again with Sports Blogcast. I'm going to do the Week 10 NFL picks on this podcast. But before I get started, I want to let you know that this podcast is being brought to us by our good friends at Mobile Advances. You can visit them at mobileadvances.com. Anything you need with wireless or accessories with your cell phones, they'll be glad to help you out. So we appreciate that. All right, as I get into my Week 10 predictions, I'm just going to go over each matchup, sort of pick who I think will win the game, and why I think they'll win the game. This is something y'all can get along and chat on too if you want to throw in your predictions of who you think will win the game. That's fine also. The first game I'm looking at on the schedule right now is the Lions versus the Vikings. It is in Minnesota, but I'm actually going to go with the Lions in this game over Minnesota. I think the Lions are getting better. I think Matt Stafford's starting to get a little bit better. I think Calvin's maybe starting to get back a little healthy. You know, he's had some problems with his knee. Also studied had a little problem with feeling in his hand and stuff, and arm. It started to come back. And I thought they looked a little bit better last week, and LaShore's really running the ball. The Vikings and Adrian Peterson's still going to be tough, but Percy Harvin, not sure if he's going to go yet, and if he is, how effective he'll be. And I just don't think they have another threat outside of those two guys, especially in the passing game and then coming back all the way out from Seattle in what was a tough physical game last week. So I like the Lions to win that game. The next game is the Falcons and Saints. And believe it or not, I'm actually going to say the Saints win this ball game. I think the Saints are starting to play a little bit better defensively, although I know Monday night you can't read into that too much as bad as Green Bay's offense is. But I think they're doing a little bit better defensively. I think it'll be a tough challenge for their defense, but I like the Saints at home. Their offense is, of course, explosive, and they can put 40 on anybody. I think it'll be a real close game, a field goal game either way on that one. But I actually like the Saints to give the Falcons their first loss on that one, mainly for being at home. The next game is going to be the Giants and Cincinnati. I'm going to go with the Giants on this game. I think Cincinnati's a sound football team. Still got to improve in some areas and get better. But the main reason I like the Giants is they played it, in my opinion, bad last week against Pittsburgh. They especially got manhandled up front. And then, of course, their coach calls them out this week, Tom Coughlin, and says they played soft. And I'm sure never playing in the NFL or anything, but playing back in high school, I'm sure you never want to hear your coach say that you gave up or you were soft. So I look for them to really get after Andy Dalton and really shut him down and A.J. Green down, and I think the Giants win that game. I'm going to say by 2 touchdowns, which may be a stretch, but I really look for the Giants to win that football game. The next game is going to be Tennessee. The Titans are going to Miami to play the Dolphins, and I know it has been said that Jake Locker is back. He will play. He will start this week against Miami, and I think Jay Locker has a great upside to him. And I think Tennessee is a pretty good football team. They have some weapons. It seems like Chris Johnson over the last 3 or 4 weeks has really got to running the ball good. Of course, you know, with Kenny Brent, Nate Washington, and Kendall Wright, we're still waiting to break out, but he has potential at a receiving core. But I just actually like Miami in this game. You know, Ryan Tannehill, the job he's done, Reggie Bush, he's doing a pretty good job with the receivers he's got. Their defense is pretty good, you know, number 2 in the NFL in the red zone. And being at home in a tough loss last week against the Colts, I really look for the Dolphins to bounce back and win that game against the Titans. Although I look the Titans to show up and play a little bit better this week than they did against Chicago, but I think Miami wins that game. Next game we have Buffalo at New England. Obviously, we've seen in years past that Buffalo can play and beat New England. You know, Ryan Fitzpatrick has the ability to get hot. We've seen that already this year where he can throw 3 touchdowns in a game or he can throw 3 interceptions in a game also. And, you know, Chris Spiller's a great addition to what he's done this year in that backfield and Stevie Johnson. But New England at home, it's getting that time of the year. And I just look for New England to really get on a roll and start playing good and take a stranglehold on the division and maybe try to get the first or second seed that they still have a shot for, so they can get a bye in the first round of the playoffs. So I like New England to win that game. Next game we have Tampa Bay and San Diego. I'm actually going to take Tampa Bay, I believe, in this game over San Diego. I think San Diego has played. They played better against the Chiefs, but everybody looks a little bit better against the Chiefs. But Tampa Bay has really been, I think, somewhat of a surprise team to me. Not so much, Josh Friedman, because I really thought he had the tools to do as good as he's doing. He had a bad year last year, but overall, I think they're surprising me, mainly, especially in the running game. Doug Martin, I wasn't sure exactly how he would be. Obviously, he's doing a great job, and he is definitely in the running for Rookie of the Year. So, I like Tampa Bay in that. I think they're playing pretty good defense, and Greg Schiano is going to run the ball. And I think Friedman's got some weapons to get it done on the outside. I think this is a close game. I think Rivers, has a pretty good game in this game, but I think the running game of Tampa Bay and then the defense and the ability to stop the run for Tampa Bay is ultimately what will win this game for them. Plus, I've never been big on saying a team will come from out west to east to win and vice versa. So I like Tampa Bay again in that game. Next game, interesting game, Denver versus Carolina. John Fox's first trip back to Carolina since he left and went to Denver. Carolina has the tools. I think they'll be up for this game just for that reason. But Peyton Manning, I think, and that team is getting on a roll right now. They're running the ball very well. Peyton, I think, in that receiving core, they're timing down. They're getting on the same page, especially when they go to that no huddle. I think Carolina will give a good effort, and I think Cam Newton will probably give that defense, who's playing better, maybe some problems. But I really, truly like Denver to win this game based on Peyton Manning and the way that offense is really starting to click in that game. Next game is Oakland and Baltimore. I'm going Baltimore in this game. I really like Baltimore's offense. When they go through Ray Rice, I know they've had some problems defensively, but I think their offense and Oakland's defense makes anybody's offense look real good. But I do think Oakland will show up and play in this game and probably put some points up on that defense. But I think Baltimore at the end of the day is just going to be too much Ray Rice, maybe too much Torrey Smith, and Joe Flacco will manage the game and get the job done in that one. Next game is the Jets and the Seahawks. Wow, you never know what Jets team's going to show up. I mean, honestly, I think they have the potentials and the tools to be better than they are. But I'm going to go with Seattle in this game because Seattle is always tough at home. They play very well at home from that spirited crowd. It just seems to really give them an extra boost. So they're very tough, and of course they pulled some impressive wins off there this year against New England. Of course, the controversial game against Green Bay, but it did go down as a win. But and again, you go back to you don't know what Jets team's going to show up. So I like Seattle in that game, mainly because they're going to be at home, and you don't know what Jets team's going to show up. Next game is an interesting game. Two reeling franchises, you could say, that are proud in tradition but are totally struggling. But it's Dallas at Philly. I like Dallas in this game. I know Romo leads the league in interceptions with 13. I know their running game has not been good this year. It's depleted a little bit with Marco hurt. I know Jones has been hurt a little bit too. But I like them to get the job done because they still have a caliber defense, that can cover and can get after the quarterback. And Michael Vick doesn't have the best line in the world, and he's third in the NFL in sacks. Only Cutler and Aaron Rodgers have been sacked more than Michael Vick has. But I just think their line and Dallas will get after them, and I don't think Philly will run the ball like they should. They don't run McCoy enough, and I think Dallas wins this game over Philly based on all that. Next game is the Rams at the 49ers. I'm going to go with, obviously, the 49ers in this game. I love what they do. Frank Gore, one of the best backs, I think, in the league, runs hard, gets the job done. Alex Smith, manages the game very well, I think. The 49ers, sound on defense. Their front seven may be the best front seven in football. But I do like what the Rams have done and Jeff Fisher's done with the Rams this year. But I just think two too much Gore and too much Patrick Willis and Brooks on the defensive side will aid the 49ers to that win. The big game to me and the best game on the card maybe this weekend as far as records and matchups, if you look at it, was Houston and Chicago Sunday night. I like Chicago in this game. I think it's going to be a close game. I think Chicago wins it. I'm going to say somewhere around the field goal. I think it's a defensive game. I think maybe the lower 20s if it gets there. But I look, if you like defense, I really think you'll like this game. I think it's going to be a defensive game, and I like Chicago. I just think being at home at night, I think I like Chicago to win for those elements. And I think they're slightly better than Houston is defensively. Offensively, we know how explosive they can be, but I think, Chicago will shut Foster down. They have the ability to play man coverage on the outside with Peanut, Tillman, and Jennings. So I think, therefore they can really get after Foster and shut that running game down. And I think the Bears win that game. Then the Monday night game, you got KC at Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh to win this game, probably by 2 touchdowns. KC, they're just struggling mightily defensively, quarterback. Charles gets some good runs the ball good. I think they'll play hard. I think they'll maybe stay in it for a while, but I like Pittsburgh. And I think Pittsburgh's starting to get in that stride. It's also getting close to the playoff time, and I think they're starting to hit their stride a little bit too, as you saw last week against the Giants. So I like Pittsburgh to win that game. So there you have it. There's all my picks for the week, who I think will win and why. Don't know how good I'll do. So far this year, I've on average missed two a week. But that's what I have. If you have any comments or disagree or just want to shoot a chat or whatnot, feel free to. And also, like I said, if you want to go in there and just pick out who you want to for fun and see how you do against me or whatnot, that's fine also. We definitely encourage it. And I hope y'all again enjoyed this segment and participate. And once again, I'd like to thank Mobile Advances for letting us bring this broadcast to y'all. So until next time, so live hard, play hard, and God bless.